don't need to learn anything. I'm a big believer that when you feel like you've got this game mastered and you've got nothing left to learn, that's the exact point where everyone else starts to surpass you. Being a poker player is being a business owner. I remember as a teenager, you know, my mother was not happy about my choice to be a professional poker player, and she's like, "Daniel, forget about poker, you go to school." So I knew early on it was important to prove me, but I took this very seriously. So I had logs and books where I tracked every expense. If I spent $1 on a tip to the dealer, wrote it down. $1 for a bottle of water, wrote it down. I kept track of how I did on Mondays versus Thursdays, so I could show my parents with a ledger. You know, this is my expense report. This is my profit margin. This is what I'm paying in taxes. And if you are already a poker player, you are essentially a business. You are your own business, and you have to think about what are the best ways for your business to prosper. Getting yourself in situations where you find better games, being more mentally prepared. Sometimes you want to invest in your body, in your health. You are your own business. The more ready you are to play, the more mental acuity you'll be able to have. Whatever it takes to get there, that's a business decision. So sometimes you think, okay, I'll have a kale salad versus a cheeseburger. That's not just a health decision, that's a life decision. That's also a business decision. A smart one. So obviously, if you're the owner of a business, you have to take a look at what's working and what's not working, right? And you can do that internally when you're a poker player and notice, but like, you know what? Every time I play really long sessions, I seem to do poorly. Well, you know what? There's a fix for that. You're going to have some discipline and play earlier and not play as long because you know that your focus doesn't go that way. So being present in the situation that you're in is super important. Poker can play tricks on your mind because if you've made a mistake, you might beat yourself up for it. And if you don't correct that mistake, you continue to make that will compound, and over a year's time, you'll start to see what's called a leak. And as a poker player or a business owner, you're going to continue throughout your career and looking at leaks and specifically figuring out areas that didn't work and improve upon those. Some of the things I'm sure will come easy to you. Maybe you're a math background guy and you've got that all figured out, but you don't do so well with the human element of being able to read people. So maybe for you, that's what you work on. Maybe you're another guy who's just like, I'm good at reading people, but I don't know the math. Understanding and identifying your leaks is the first step towards fixing them. One of the easiest and best ways to find out your leaks in terms of like poker math is to play online poker, because with online poker, you can accumulate a lot of data about how you're playing and how your opponents are playing, and you can do a lot of comparisons. So, for example, if you're playing with a crew and you notice that the biggest winners are doing something that you're not doing, well, maybe it's an opportunity to look at that and say, well, maybe I'm not 3-betting, or maybe I'm playing too much. The winning players play between 20 to 25%, and I'm up around 35%. So maybe that's likely. It doesn't necessarily need to be, but it could be evidence that, you know, could open up some opportunities for you to explore with people that you think. One of the most important skills, really, this is very important as a professional poker player, is self-awareness, to be able to honestly gauge whether losing streaks are happening because A, you're playing poorly, or B, you've just been unlucky. Now, if you're playing online poker, there's actually some tools you can use that will help you see, like when you were all in, how did you do versus how you should have done. So, for example, if I go all in a situation where I'm 50% win, if I lose 10 of those in a row, that's pretty unlucky, right? And you can gauge that when you're playing online. You can't really do that as well with a fly. But I think the best way to sort of get in the right frame of mind with something like this is when you are on a losing streak, get feedback. Get feedback from people that you trust, get feedback from friends. Run hands by them and say, listen, what do you think about the way I played this? It's good, right? The one danger that happens when you go through losing streaks is confidence takes a beating, and you stop seeing spots that you may have seen before. When you're confident, feeling good and aggressive, you're like, oh, I know wrong spot, I feel the spot. You're not playing with fear. If you've gone through a 6-week losing streak, it's very easy for your mind to like, not seeing those spots, feeling, oh man, I'm probably not going to win this hand. That whole thought process of allowing that to seep into your mind is going to affect your win rate. So a lot of times it's very important to like really get feedback from friends that you trust, or going over hands, and really focus on what you can in terms of fundamentals of the game. You're going to have that, but you don't want to ever spend a lot of time saying, well, you know what, I only lose because of bad luck. There's no value. You take the victim mentality, victim of circumstance. can I plug holes so that, you know, I don't lose pots that I'm supposed to win and things like that. So there's a lot more value in taking the responsible version, which is to look at your results, look at your decisions, rather than just look at the result and when it's, you know, bad luck, just say, huh, or me, woe is me. There's no value in that, and also, nobody wants to hear it. Nobody. So there's a lot to think about if you are choosing to play poker as a career. And for me, the number one thing is, are you emotionally stable enough to handle the swings and the ups and downs of not having a paycheck that looks the same every week? Are you disciplined enough to keep your expenses low while your bankroll continues to increase? Are you driven enough to yearn for playing high stakes, but also do so within a framework where your ego doesn't get out of whack and you ruin your entire bankroll? So for me, the most important considerations as far as whether this is a career for you is, obviously, do you have access to, you know, playing in games that are lucrative when you get to those games? But most importantly, it would be the emotional stability and whether or not this is something you can hack, because a lot of players feel a lot of stress. Like, I've been in situations where, you know, the turn of a card decided whether or not I was going to be able to pay rent that week. And that's not easy for a lot of people to deal with, and not an ideal situation to let yourself get into. I made a lot of mistakes, and I hope you don't repeat them, because when it came to bankroll management, ooh boy, did I take some chances. Important decisions come later in the hand when the pot gets bigger. One of the things I think is interesting about poker is that there's more than one way to succeed. You have some players who have a strategy where they play a lot of hands before the flop, and others who are much more conservative, and yet both can be successful. In some cases, they could have an equal win rate. And the reason for that is because the most important decision isn't the one that comes pre-flop. It is an important factor, absolutely. If you're playing rubbish hands, that's going to lead to compounding errors on the flop, turn, and river. Having said that, the crux of the most important decisions come later in the hand when the pot gets bigger. Obviously, on the turn, there's a lot of important decisions that need to be made with one card to come. You know, do I have the right equity to continue? Am I ahead? Am I behind? Should I be betting? Should I be check raising? And then when you get to the river, well, now all the equities are realized. So you're simply in a situation where you're forced with a simple decision. Do I have the best hand or not? Right? So the player that has the better ability to make good decisions on the turn in the river specifically are the ones that are going to thrive in the long run. Of course, pre-flop play matters, decisions on the flop matter, but obviously the bigger decisions are the ones where the pot size is larger and has a much bigger impact on your yearly earn. So that's why you can see a player who has a conservative style and another one with an aggressive style before the flop. Both have equal win rates in some cases. Some of the more common mistakes I see pre-flop is, number one, first and foremost, people just limping it. Okay? Now, sure, we can theoretically discuss a limping strategy and developing ranges for that at a very high level, but it's not ideal. The best way to play is if you have a hand that you think is good enough to call with, and you really believe so, you should go ahead and come in for a raise. That gives you a chance to win the pot two ways. You can win what's there. It's never a bad thing. Pick up the small blind and big blind and sometimes some antes. Otherwise, you are, keeping a balanced range, which helps your aces and kings when you do have them. So basically every time you come in first, you're always the raise guy. It no longer allows people to pinpoint you so drastically, like, oh, if they limp, they have 7-8 suited. When they raise, they have pocket aces. So number one, most common mistake I see players make is limping in rather than raising. The second part of that, which is probably part of why they're limping, is they're just playing too many hands from bad positions. So sure, 6-4 or 6-5 spades or those types of hands, they look pretty and they're nice, and you definitely want to see flop them sometimes, but not if it's raised under the gun and you're next and you've got some crazy maniacs behind you who are going to re-raise you, because all that's going to happen then is you're going to put in a little bit of chips and then it's going to get raised back to you. You won't even get to see the flop anyway. So playing too many hands out of position, playing too many hands in general is another common mistake I think players make pre-flop. One of the more common mistakes I see players make after the flop is in heads-up situations, folding way too often. Like, if you're in a heads-up situation, we've already established that ace-king, you're going to make a pair like 1 out of 3, 1 out of 4 times in that game, right? So, if you flop a pair, that's usually good enough to continue with the flop. So I've seen far too many players, a flop comes, they've defended the big blind with ace-5 of diamonds. And the flop comes, jack 10-5 with 1 diamond. And it's a bet to them. And they're like, well, bottom pair, just fold. That's far too tight, far too conservative. If you flop a pair or you have a decent amount of equity on the flop, unless the bet size you're facing is extremely large, you should probably be continuing. You're not always going to flop 3 of a kind, straight, flush, or an overbet. So you're going to have to get used to, in heads-up situations especially, to playing some of the weaker hands. Like, ace-high is not a fold on every flop. You don't just go, well, didn't catch the ace, I'm out of here. Ace-high often is going to end up being the best hand unimproved. So fight a little harder, be a little more sticky, as we say. A sticky player is a player who is pretty stubborn on the flops, because what happens, especially in position, when you're in position, you can win a lot of pots whether you catch something or not. Because once you call people on the flop, they shut down, they don't flop enough, they don't bet enough, it opens up opportunities for you to get free cards or for you to steal the pot entirely. One of the other common mistakes, really common mistakes I see players make after the flop is they get married to premium hands, right? So you get pocket aces, you gotta like that. But if you get 5 colors, and the flop comes 7, 8, 9 of hearts, the correct play isn't all in, okay? A lot of players in that spot feel like, well, I need to protect my hand, black aces, I don't have a heart to come, straight to come. Yeah, you're probably dead already. I mean, not probably, but a good percentage of the time, you're already going to be beaten. And when you're not beaten, players are going to have a substantial amount of equity to respond to that. So you have black aces, and the flop comes 7, 8, 9 of hearts. This is a bad flop in most of the time. It doesn't mean that you have to fold necessarily right away. You can see what develops, and if there's a lot of action before it's your turn to act, maybe you'll fold, or, maybe just, wait till the turn and see what happens there. But you don't want to be playing too aggressively. You don't want to overplay them by raising some of the flop and trying to get it all in. Because, again, your best case scenario is what? The other player has a massive draw, and they're going to be pretty much have good equity against you anyway. So that's your best case scenario. The problem is your worst case scenario is you can't win. Like, there's nothing. You would need to catch 2 perfect cards, miracles, which is like less than 2% to win the pot. So you don't want to find yourself in situations like that. So just because you started with a premium hand, realize the flop can change that and turn it into nothing real quick. Some of the more common mistakes I see players make on the river, the number one is probably just calling too long. Players aren't bluffing as often as you typically think, especially good players. If it's a good player that you've never played with, you don't know anything about, the chance that he's running a big bluff against an unknown player is a little unlikely. I mean, it's possible, of course, but less likely. So one of the common mistakes I see players make is just, probably something saying, I should know better than to call. And I've been guilty of this on TV many a times, calling when I know probably I should have folded. So that's a big mistake. The other mistake, too, which is a little more subtle, is sometimes players get a little bit afraid. They put money in pre-flop, put money in the flop. Now the pot's gotten all big, and so it's check to them, and they just turn their hand face up and show a really strong hand that they could have got value from. But instead they check back because they were more afraid and wrapped up in the moment than they were about thinking about, okay, you know what though? Hold on a minute. I have a pretty good hand. I don't have the nuts. I've got a strong hand, and I think my opponent will call 2200. A lot of players are just so happy to win the pot, they're like, I gotta pay the money. Well, you miss out on value. So when you miss out on value, that adds up at the end of the year. You want to avoid overcalling on the river, weaker hands, and you also want to make sure that you're value betting a little more making sure that you're balanced there, because it's very rare that you run into situations where a player check raise through it. It does happen, but people are far too afraid of it, and if it leads them to check the back hands, they should probably bet a little more. The more raising and re-raising that occurs in a hand, the stronger your hand needs to be. So for example, if everyone folded to you and you're on the button, you can open with a pretty wide range of hands, right? You know, you get king 7 spades, king 4 diamonds, pocket 9s, for example. That's certainly a hand that you would raise with, right? So let's use pocket 9s as an example. Raise with the 9s. Now, it's re-raised from the small blind, and the big blind re-raises again, okay? So in order for you to continue, you know, your 9s just went from a very, very strong hand on the button to slightly weaker after the first raise in terms of, you know, the chances of you winning. And then when another re-raise happens, it becomes even more weaker. So the more raising and re-raising that goes on in a hand, the stronger the quality of your hand needs to be. I've called this hand the rookie hand for many, many years because it looks really, really pretty, but it has negative implied odds. And that hand would be King Jack offsuit, right? 2 face cards, you know, looks strong. The problem with that hand is the bigger the pot pre-flop, if you've been 3-bet or 4-bet, for example, when you catch your card, like what flop do you really feel comfortable about when, for example, it's a multi-way pot and you can raise and re-raise with King Jack? Obviously, you shouldn't be folding, so that's kind of a silly example, but point being that King Jack against one opponent when you're the aggressor, and there's no re-aggression pre-flop, is fine. However, when you are 3-bet, this hand, all of a sudden, the rank of it just goes way, way down. Because if you flop a jack, fantastic, great, right? Well, you still lose to ace-jack, lose to aces, lose to kings, lose to queens. All right. Well, then let's flip the king. Okay. When you flop the king, you still lose to aces, you still lose to the other pocket kings, and you lose to ace-king and king-queen, right? So these are danger hands where there's obviously value in big cards, but the bigger the pots become, the more likely trouble hands like this have reverse implied odds, because you don't really have a lot of great flops that you want to catch that you can play super aggressively, right? It's not like you're going to have King Jack ever flop a pair and be like, oh yeah, gung-ho, in the face of someone who's 3-bet you. Without a doubt, my most challenging experience in poker was really at the outset. You know, in Toronto, I was a big fish in a little pond, and I was able to pound people into submission, and I was a bull in a china shop. And I took that sort of mentality to Las Vegas, and I was the hometown hero that went home with his tail between his legs. And I'd go back home and rebuild, and come back to Las Vegas, get spanked again, get beaten up, and there's many nights where I walked home from the garage rather than spend the $5 on a cab, because I didn't exactly have it, to the budget suites, which was basically like a motel I was staying at, and really kind of getting deeper into saying to myself, like, what am I really going to do with my life? Am I going to be able to make it? How many times can I fail before I succeed? What is it going to take? And all those moments, those weak moments, or those moments where I was in a breakdown, led to me having major breakthroughs in terms of what it was going to take for me to be successful. And I'm thankful for every mistake I've made, because I see mistakes as an opportunity to learn and grow. So my definition of success is probably a lot different than you may expect. I think of success from the perspective of integrity. Okay? And what I mean by that is, for me, success is living a life where what I say I'm going to do, I actually do. So if I say that I'm going to be on time, I'm there on time. If I say that I'm going to not drink before a tournament and not be social and get 8 hours of sleep and I do that, that's success. If I say that I'm going to put in the hard work and learn how to play the game better and do that, that's success. But that allows me to live a life where I'm less focused on the results and I let the results come on the back of my hard work. So I don't necessarily focus on specific titles or amounts of money that I need to have in order for me to feel like I have a successful life. For me, what's most important is living in integrity, being my word to others and myself. It has been an absolute pleasure creating this course for you guys, and I want to thank you for tuning in and taking in all the concepts. I know sometimes it may be intimidating, but I'm just thankful that I had the opportunity to share a game that I love, and I hope that the better prepared you are to play this game at a high level, the more you enjoy it as well.